Pisces, what's up, y'all? How are you guys doing? What's good with you? It's time to go ahead and knock out your main monthly reading for December 2025. So, this is the main monthly reading. So, I'm going to be looking into three different situations in this video. We're going to be looking at the singles and the person you're interested in. Then we're going to move on to the current long term relationship. And then at the end, we're going to see how things are looking generally for the singles. Okay. So, if any of you are in need of a personal reading, you can find all the information on how to go about doing that in the description of this video. Or if you want, you could just go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. But the link is right down here in the description. All right. Now, let's see how things are looking between the single Pisces and your love interest. Let's see what's happening in December. How's the energy looking? What's happening? Anything good happening? Anything bad happening? Anything happening at all? Ooh, huh. This almost looks kind of like some start stop type of energy here. This is a little bit confusing because it does look like a new start in love is happening when you got the Ace of Cups upright and the Emperor and the Empress. That looks like a new start in love to me. But then Five of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles reversed, World card reversed. It almost kind of feels like this is some kind of cycle that you all are stuck in. You know, like maybe hot and cold, start and stop, maybe false starts for some of you. It feels like it's going somewhere and then it's not. Or it just seems like a really, really confusing situation. Really confusing. So, yeah, Two of Wands. Right when it seems like a decision is being made, then all of a sudden, I don't know if things are backpedaling or what, but seems like really good communication. I don't know. There's just too much back and forth. Too much back and forth energy here. Okay. And I just got done telling Aquarius this. This one here comes out for everybody. Now, the first spread is just the general energetic overview, mainly from your perspective. 80 to 90% your perspective here. So that's why I don't like to touch too much on this kind of energy. Some of you basically may be suspecting that this person is hiding something or lying about something. But I'm not looking at their energy just yet. So I don't want to hammer too hard on that kind of stuff. But yeah, it does kind of look like you all are stuck in a little bit of a cycle. Hot and cold, on and off, start and stop, you know. All right. Some of you dealing with a Taurus. I also have Aries, Cancer, and that's it. But you know, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. And let's see how they feel about you then. And what their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions are. How's this person feel about Pisces? Nine of Pentacles reversed. Oh, okay. I think there is something that they're hiding from you, but it might not be what you think. Now, I got to be general about this. This is a general reading for the masses. But something along the lines of, okay, I'll give you the best example. Maybe for some of you, they're not doing as financially well as they want to let you know. You know, maybe they're a little bit embarrassed about like either their finances or some type of situation in their life. Yeah, a lover's card. I mean, I do think this person really do want to be with you. There's just something that they're embarrassed about. Something. Something. They want to be with you though. Oh, they do. Hell yeah, they do. Ace of Cups lover's card. Shit. There's just something going on in their life that they're a little bit embarrassed about that they don't want to let you know. Now, does that excuse being dishonest? No. No. This is why I read energy and intentions. Okay. Intentions are not meant to like excuse any shitty behavior or anything like that. Intentions are meant to give you the information that you need so that you can make the most educated decision possible as to what you're going to put up with, you know? Because we all draw that line in a different place. There's some things that if I know your intentions, I'll let it slide. It doesn't mean that what you did is okay, but I know what you meant. I know where you're coming from. I know where your heart is, so I'll let that slide. There's other things that, sorry, fuck your intentions. You crossed the line. Nah, sorry, don't care. I don't care. Don't care what you meant by it. Don't care what you thought. You crossed the fucking line. All right. Where do we draw that line? That's different for everybody. Different for everybody. So that's why I'm telling you their intentions. So I guess the question is that okay with you? I'm not saying that it should be or it shouldn't be, but I think that's what it is. You're picking up on something that's a little bit off because it is off. There's something going on in their life that they're a little bit ashamed of. But I don't think that it's coming from a place of trying to manipulate and play games with you. Does that make sense? Let's get the advice. What's the best advice? Advice is for Pisces. Advice, advice. What is the best advice? Well, this one's a tricky situation to be in. The only thing you can really do is make sure that when this person is around you, you emit an aura and an ambiance that makes it very clear that they are free to just be themselves around you, right? Be sure that you give them no reason to think that you would judge them for anything, right? I mean, beyond like common sense shit. I'm not saying that if you find out they're living a double life as a crack addicted hooker on the weekends, you should just be okay with it. I'm talking common sense shit. We're all humans. We've all done dumb shit. We've all messed up in life. We've all been in hard situations. We've all been in embarrassing financial situations. We've all been there, you know? And when it comes to just the everyday struggles and challenges of your average person, there are some people out there who will project their own insecurities onto you and judge you to make them feel better about themselves. You need to let it be known that you're not one of those people. Okay. And hopefully, once they see that you're in it for the long haul, you know, they'll let that guard down and be open with you. Um, but the question is, with this confusing energy like this, how long are you going to let that string on? Right? That's the question. I'm not going to tell you how long you should let it string on, but that's what's going on. And even this is the most important thing. If you take one thing away from this video, it doesn't matter what their intentions are. If the two of you don't connect at a deep enough level at some point, the tension and frustration is going to build to the point where it's going to explode. Even though I think both of you have good intentions, right? I don't think either of you are playing games with each other, but that doesn't matter if we're not vibrationally aligned and connected at a deep enough level. All right, now we're going to shift gears. Let's see what's happening with those of you who are currently in a long term relationship. What's happening between Pisces and the current long term partner? Now, if you're not in a long term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing any problems, this is not for you. Let's see how the energy's looking. Pisces and the current long term partner. Horrible communication. Terrible, terrible communication. Ooh, Hierophant. Okay. All right. Well, the first thing that yells at me is in the heart of the spread, the Six of Cups reversed. So I don't think the two of you have worked through any of your issues in a very long time. Some of you ever at all. So, that energy builds after a while. Whenever we experience a bump in the road, a challenge, a problem together, if we don't work together as a team to work through that shit and put that behind us and level up, then we carry it with us. You can stuff it under the rug and pretend that it's not there, but it's fucking there. And then that energy is going to circle back around and manifest again. And then it puts another layer of energy on top. And this is what I like to call the karmic snowball effect, right? The vibrations that you cast are handed back to you. And if you don't do anything with that, you're going to cast that vibration again. It's going to get handed back to you again and put another layer of energy over it. And then now you're casting the vibration twice as strong, and the universe hands it back to you twice as strong and puts another layer of energy on. It's just like an energetic fucking snowball. It just builds and builds and builds over time. And eventually it gets to a point where it builds for so long that the two of you aren't even capable of picking up what each other's putting down anymore, if that makes sense. Because there's such a thick wall of energy between the two of you that you're not connected at all. Like at all. That's what this feels like here. I don't feel a connection at all. But boy, you hanging in there. Boy, you hanging in there. You are. I'm actually surprised with this energy that you pulled it off for this long, but it happens. I see that sometimes. Sometimes clients come to me and been dealing with a relationship for 10 years, and I'm like, good Christ almighty, I wouldn't have been able to make that go for 10 months. How the fuck did you stick with this for 10 years? Hey, I'm proud of you. Cool. That's the way they used to do it back in the day. Most people don't do it like that now, but yeah, this I say hats off to you for hanging on to this for this long, because yeah, you sure do have some strength. Boy, I'm gonna tell you what. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo. I also have Taurus. Could be a fellow Pisces for some of you. But could be anybody. Those are just energies. Yeah, y'all definitely are not living the happily ever after lifestyle. Absolutely not. I don't even think you have feelings for this person anymore, do you? I don't think so. I don't think so. But you're not walking away either. All right, we're going in circles now. Let's see how they feel about you and what their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions be. Current long term partner Pisces is dealing with. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Oh, the tower. Kind of feels like they're prepared for the worst, at least. They don't want this to come to an end, but they're prepared for it to come to an end. Now, here's a weird thing that jumps out about to me in this spread. I don't have one cup in this person's energy. Not one. There's not one single cup card in the whole spread that I pulled. Here's the last line. Here's the middle line. Here's the top line. Here's the jumper and the overall energy. No cups. Not one. So you know what that means? I don't see somebody who is in love. I don't see an individual in love here. But it's like they don't want this to come to an end either. So what do they want? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. If anything, I mean, there's so many reasons why it won't tell me on a video for the masses like this. And it could be because the reason is so like diverse. There's such a diverse group of you with so many different reasons that I can't really generalize it, but I can give you some examples. Like maybe for some of you with this sun card here, that this individual doesn't want anyone to know that the relationship is the mess that it is. Like maybe this person's just really fake and is all about putting on a front to everybody. They don't want anybody to know what really goes on behind the scenes, you know? So if the relationship ended, that would make them feel stupid or feel embarrassed or something like that. Or maybe for some of you, it's just become you're their comfort zone. Fool card reversed. That's somebody that just doesn't want to leap out into the unknown because you're their comfort zone. No reason. It's kind of like you ever hear those cases of people who get wrongly convicted and sentenced to life in prison? And then after like 20 years, some random detective says, I want to take a little peep at that case right there. They open it back up and then they say, oopsie poopsie, we fucked that up, didn't we? All right, well, my bad. You can go home now. And they don't want to go home. They surrendered. No, this is my comfort zone. I've been here for 20 years. I don't want to go home. This is my life now. I'm comfortable here. When you get comfortable, just because you're sitting in a pile of shit doesn't mean you'll never get comfortable. If you sit in shit long enough, you'll stop smelling it and get comfortable, you know? So, but like I said, those are just a couple of examples. It's not telling me why this person isn't in love with you, but they don't want this to end either at the same time. But there is a part of them deep, deep, deep down that is kind of preparing for things to crash and burn at any given time. I don't think that's happening, though, by the way. Spoiler alert. I don't think this is crashing and burning anytime soon. So let's get the advice. Advices for Pisces. What advice do we have for Pisces? What advice do we have for Pisces? Whew, man. I know I say this all the time, but this is my least favorite part of my job. Advice for the current long term relationship. And there's so many different reasons. But one of the reasons is because after a certain point in a relationship, most of the time it's after the 5 year mark, there's not really a lot you can do. 90 to 95% of what you got is what you fucking got. I'm not saying that nothing can't change and that I'm not promising you that nothing ever will. It's just that the likelihood after about 5 years that something is going to change is very slim, right? Because if it hasn't had to change this whole time, why should I change it now? It's worked just fine for 5 years. Why change something that hasn't caused a problem in 5 years? I haven't had any consequences for my actions for 5 straight years. So I'm just going to wake up and change all of a sudden, that type of energy. So there's not really a whole lot you can do with a situation like this. Not really. Not really.